gang in studio with us, a brand new guest, a Fargo South graduate. Is that right?
That's right. Yes, a Bruin.
Wow. Well, I'm a North graduate, a Spartan, so I feel like there's this tension in studio already.
Yeah, I kind of feel like leaving.
Oh, well, thanks for joining us. That's Cole Hornstein. Hornstein.
Yep,
Hornstein. I'm going to ruin it every time.
That's okay.
Cole Hornstein, you are with Great North Insurance Services. Help us understand the scope of what you and your company do.
Yeah, so we're an independent insurance agency, offer a bunch of different carriers, different options. We have people who specialize in life, health, commercial lines, and then personal lines, which is your auto, home, renters, and toys. Yeah.
Everything needs insurance, doesn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately, yes.
I've had some of your team members in studio with us. I've had John, I've had Nick, I've had Kane, and now we have Cole. It's like the Backstreet Boys of the insurance world
right.
at this point. Are you the bad boy? Are you the baby?
Which one is it? I'm not sure what I am. One of my coworkers, Doug, said I had the face 4 radio, so I'm not sure what that means. I was hoping you could enlighten me on that.
It means you're ugly.
Oh, I see. Thank you. There it is.
Yeah, I'm also blessed with said face. As far as I can tell, you're quite the dapper-looking man.
Oh, hey, I appreciate that very much.
You bet. Cole, insurance is always a necessary evil, isn't it?
Yes.
I rag on insurance agents intentionally simply because you're giving a product that's always surrounded by bad news.
Absolutely.
Help me understand as you're dealing more into specific, you're in a specific line at Great North, and I don't want to talk about homes today, which is interesting because we're a real estate radio show and we could talk about homes, but you're covering a different line for different chaos in people's lives.
Absolutely.
What's your expertise?
It is homes. It is the autos, the toys, the special coverages that involve that. My expertise comes with the given carriers that we sell and what's offered by that carrier. When I mean carrier, I mean there's certain companies, whether it's MetLife, Progressive, and so on. So those are my specialties, and knowing the ins and outs of those coverages. Many different companies offer a lot of different coverages that people don't know about.
Okay. So walk me through now. Let's say it's my primary residence. We had a big storm recently, and if you were in the heart of town, if you found yourself in downtown Main Avenue, heck, we saw a roof ripped off a building. So obviously it was a big storm. How do I know that my insurance is going to cover the roof being ripped off my building?
That's going to be within the policy. Once you discuss that with your agent, hopefully you have that agent. We see a lot of people that just go online and they're not sure what they're getting for their coverage. So it's talking with that agent. It's coming into Great North and discussing, looking through that policy. I mean, it's not fun to look at. Yeah. It's a lot of legal mumbo jumbo, but to know you're covered properly is what we specialize in.
Okay. And you especially have a niche when it comes to auto insurance. Is that right?
That's correct. Yep.
Boy, you think about it. If I own my house outright, do I have to carry insurance? Yeah. I think the answer is no, right?
Legally, you don't have to, no.
Okay. I mean, I'd be foolish to not have an insurance policy. But in a vehicle, even if I own it outright, I have to carry insurance.
That's correct. You have to have those liability limits. The state requires that.
Okay. Yep. And maybe you know this, maybe you don't, but isn't there a percentage of drivers out there that are driving without insurance?
Absolutely. And it varies from state to state. In the South, obviously, there's more. And you'll see that reflected in rate on your underinsured and uninsured motorists are more expensive in those states, say Florida, Texas, California, because there's more uninsured drivers.
Okay.
But here, it's not as bad, but I don't know the exact percentage, but it varies from state to state.
If you make it up, I'll just support that answer.
15%. State
wow.
of North Dakota.
Look at that, 15%. You heard it here first.
All facts.
Again, folks, just tuning in. We have Cole from Great North Insurance, and we are talking about lines and coverage. It's been a long time since I've been in a car accident. I think I was 16 or 17. I was in Ortonville, Minnesota, visiting a friend.
Beautiful town.
Oh, it's so nice this time of year.
Yes, it is.
And when I was in Ortonville, I was pulling into a parking space, and somebody was pulling out at the same time, and I ended up hitting the back of their vehicle. I was at fault. I haven't been in an accident for like 23 years now or something like that.
Where's that wood? Knock on that.
Oh, no doubt. And I haven't been in an accident, but I have to tell you, Cole, what happened is I was driving down recently to Minneapolis to go to the Bison game, which was really fun, by the way. I was a little bit iffy. Did you go?
I didn't. No, I wasn't able to. I was in Vegas. So.
Okay. Well, you poor sap. Yeah. And I was driving in the left-hand lane going above the speed limit, and somebody was coming to shoot the gap on the right-hand side.
Okay.
And as they're coming to shoot the gap, there's also a vehicle in front of them. And they end up cutting in front of me. I have to slam on my brakes on the interstate so I don't rear end this person. Who's at fault? Because that's what I want to know. I want to know who's at fault, because I didn't have the accident, but I'm playing through my head like, I'm not going to, at 75 miles an hour, I'm not going to just hit them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's always that thought of like, where in the world does that go?
Yeah, and it's some of those situations are so tough, and the laws vary by state to state. There's no fault states. North Dakota is one of them. So it really depends on the witnesses.
Okay.
Police report. They're going to make that determination. Unfortunately, your adjuster and will also. But yeah.
So whose insurance? I mean, does it really come down to whose insurance covers and who has the points against them on their license?
It's depending on your coverage. I mean, if they don't have insurance, then your underinsured or uninsured motorist is going to kick in.
Okay.
Those liability limits will obviously full cover.
But that affects my deductible, right? Or not my deductible, but it affects my monthly payment probably.
Absolutely. It's going to go up a little bit, even if it's a non-at fault.
Even if I did nothing and some idiot cut me off and I crashed and they don't have insurance, my insurance goes up.
It's going to vary. It will go up a little bit depending on at faults are obviously going to hurt you more.
Right.
But the more you make a claim, the more your rates are going to rise.
Yeah, I get that. So what's the frequency of somebody actually getting in a car accident and needing services and help?
That's a tough situation. There seems to be some people who love to get in accidents.
Really?
And it's,
is it repeat offenders?
It is repeat offenders for sure. And that'll affect rate. But that percentage, geez. Oh, boy. We'll go 15% again.
Okay. You heard it here second and first. Cole, I want to end with this. My kids are 4 and 3 right now, but I was hanging out with Nick from Great North Insurance a couple weeks ago, and he asked his buddy, like, hey, when does your kid get their license? And he said March. And Nick jokingly goes, "Ooh, it's pay raise day for me," because insuring somebody who's young is an expensive thing, right?
It is. It's very expensive.
Help us understand the why behind that. To understand why is somebody who's a frequent accident person, or why is somebody who's young going to be so much more expensive for a premium?
The actuaries crunch the numbers. They know these numbers. Obviously, newer drivers, they're higher risk. They're going to get in accidents. We see that. And that's why your premium reflects that. There's things that you can do about that. Good student discounts help. Taking that accident prevention courses help. Even being with a certain company for an extended period, they offer discounts. They might rate your 16-year-old driver as an 18 or a 19-year-old driver, so that also helps. But as far as just the math, unfortunately, it's there. They're just going to be a higher risk driver.
Yeah, that sure is helpful to understand. Cole, I want to say this. I think that it's important for people who are listening, even if they hate insurance because it's the bane of their existence, because it's just that extra payment. I know that it's done some great good in covering some people's butts. My advice would be to find a way to bundle and save.
Absolutely.
So you take your home, you take your auto, you take your toys, you take your life, and you put it all in the same kind of industry package, right?
Absolutely.
What kind of savings can somebody expect with that?
Some savings you can save, $250 depending on how many autos, the home value and so on. You can save upwards to $400 for the year by just bundling.
Okay.
Which is fantastic.
Perfect. That'll buy a lot of McChickens.
Absolutely. A lot.
Cole with Great North Insurance, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate having you in. Folks, in the meantime, head to hatchrealty.com because we're going to break. This is Real Estate Radio with Erik Hatch.